That's before love.
Dak doing a little pocket watching on GP. Is our QB out of line? Let's preview who's going to be standing next to DeMarvion Overshown. And, of course, dong around with the draft a little bit. We got free agency, we got the draft, we got Dak, we got Pickens, we got all the things. Let's do it. Meow. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Anthony said the show just started. Chill's already on his phone. Look, you can't look. Look, there's a reason I changed my little tiny personal YouTube page to say Jeff Cavanaugh, parentheses, ADHD Cowboys. It's an ADHD show, okay? Squirrel.
I was trying to tweet, man. I was trying to tweet the show out. That's what I was trying to. That's why I was on my phone. Anthony.
Just Facebook it, you know?
I was on Facebook it too.
Just Facebook it.
That's what I usually do. I got people that's waiting.
We got a lot of stuff to get to today. We got Cowboys news. We got our St. Patty's at ALLCITY. Nobody gets pinched on our watch. We got merch stuff going on. We got your merch hookups if you want to get you some St. Patty's stuff. Get on alldlls.com. It's also in the description, okay? Got a lot of stuff we got to get to today. Dak talked about George Pickens, and some people are upset about it. Should they be upset about it? Are you upset about it? We'll do free agency, talk about linebackers. We'll work our way through all the draft stuff. We got it all coming at you. Hello, my name is Jeff. He's a black man. See, I knew that was going to come back and get me.
Damn.
John kept playing a thing yesterday that said, White Boy Wednesday, White Boy Wednesday. And we were talking about George Pickens. And I said, George Pickens is a black man. I'm next to the greatest beat writer in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Clarence Hill.
We like mamas.
And Juan in the chat said Jeff's pool fund needs help. Confirmed. 22.6 is what we're down to.
And we do like mamas.
And Big Josh is in the chat. He said, I just want Jeff to say I'm in the chat. Hit the like button on your way in, okay? We got a lot of stuff we got to
Everybody got a mama.
Let's start off with Dak Prescott and George Pickens. George Pickens is on a franchise tag right now. He's going to make $27-something million. And Dak got asked, where is Dak? Set me up. Where is Dak? What's happening here?
Well, Dak, he's the chairman of the Children's Fund Gala, and it raises money for
I call
Children's
it Gala.
Gala. Children's Cancer Fund Gala.
That's nice.
Gala. He took over for Troy Aikman, who took over for Roger Staubach.
Joe Milton next.
You're messy. But he's a chairman of Children's Fund Gala, which is going to be at April. They had a press conference yesterday showing some of the children's cancer patients, and they were modeling at North Park Center. It's North Park Center, right?
Sure.
You're a Dallas guy. North Park Center, right?
Are you talking about where I go to get a discount?
No, that's what Dez got banned from for sagging. You remember the sagging story? Remember the sagging story?
I remember the sagging story. So is it not the actual, is it North Park Mall or is it called something different?
It's North Park Center.
Okay.
But it's a mall.
Okay.
But that's where, high-end stores and,
Wait, is that where I go to the rack? Because you got Nordstrom in the mall.
Yeah.
And you got Nordstrom Rack.
Yes.
That's where I go.
Yeah, you go to the Rack.
I go to the Rack. Yeah.
Huh? That's where John goes.
What theater's over there? What is that? Oh, you're talking about in the mall. So that's the mall. And then across the highway is where you'll find Jeff because times are tough. And I got a pool fund.
Yeah. You got high-end money, too. That's where you get the little, they got a lot of nice stores in that mall. That's where all the rich people go to. It's close to Highland Park, right outside of Highland Park, Park City's people, that's that mall.
Fancy lads.
Yes.
Okay, so Dak.
So Dak's there, and clearly, when we get Dak answers everything about his offseason. We haven't talked to Dak since the end of the season, and he was asked questions about CP and what Jerry's doing in the offseason. Of course, CP and GP. And he was asked about GP. And just let's go a wonder behind the curtain. Dak is a leader. And the good thing about Dak is that he will open up and talk. He was asked to be a leader. They're paid to be a leader. He's a spokesman for the Cowboys. He has the pulse of the team. That's part of his duties as the face of the franchise, $6 million quarterback. But there are some people that think that he shouldn't be so. He should just focus on quarterback and not talk about the other stuff. But that's his job as a leader. But anyway, he was asked about Pickens and, again, said all the right things. The man
or did he? That's the tease. Hit it, John.
George loves football. That's the one thing about it. I just want him to know, don't change your love for football. Don't get in the business mind of this. You played last year on a 1 year for not even that much, right? So if you can go 30, whatever it is now, I think it's the same thing I got. So, when I franchise. So, hey, go do it. At the end of the day, bet on yourself. He's a hell of a player. Hopefully we can get him long term and sign that. But if not, I think the way that he plays the game and the person that he is, he'll be just fine.
Okay.
And so people who are messy, us.
I get what people wouldn't like about that. I get it. It's not what Dak intended, but I get it.
That's not what he intended.
Because you could say, he's saying, go play on the tag. And if the player and agent don't want to play on the tag, how dare you tell me to go play on the tag when I'm trying to go about my business and try to get my money?
You're pocket watcher.
I get it.
They say
I get it.
But you get it? Because if that's not his intent, you're choosing to be negative. There's some people who are choosing to look at it the wrong way. There's a whole podcast that came up yesterday about Dak is wrong and Dak shouldn't get out of Pickens' pocket. That was not his intent. And if you know Dak, and if you listen to the whole thing and you know his history, you know that, but you're choosing to be negative. You're choosing to be messy. Right. You're choosing to make this a controversy that's not a controversy. Because, number one, if he says play on the tag, dog, I'm going to feed you. I'm going to get you paid. I'm going to get you paid. You're going to get the ball.
He should have said that. But, I hope he does play on the tag. I'm going to get him 2,000 yards, and then let's see what happens.
You're going to get your 40, right? You fighting over 35, but 33 right now. Come back, play on the tag. I'm going to get you paid like I got paid. And when Dak talks about history of playing on the tag, he played on the tag in 2020, did not show up for the virtual offseason program, played on the tag in 2020. The reason why you don't play on the tag because of what happened to him. He got hurt.
And
he potentially
still broke the bank.
Right, but potentially that's why they don't want to play on the tag because it's not long-term security.
Yeah.
That's why you want to deal because everything that you're guarding against happened to him. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm playing on the tag. He tears his knee, tears his ankle, catastrophic. It could have been a career-ending injury. He could have never seen that money, but then the Cowboys tagged him again, and eventually he got tagged for $30 million. He got that $40 million annual salary. The next year after getting tagged twice, although it was only a few days after the tag before they signed the new deal. And then 4 years later, he's the richest quarterback in NFL history with a $60 million annual contract. So when he says, I did it, I bet on myself, he's saying, if you bet on yourself, you do. If it comes to that,
right,
there's a chance you could be like me and be at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, you could. And I think that's what makes the negotiation between the Cowboys and George kind of tough is if George Pickens and his camp come to you with a certain number of like, this is what it would take to get a long-term deal, the Cowboys could look at it and say, okay, what if we tag him this year? And what if we tag him again next year? What does that cost us? And if he wants more than that, we don't need to worry about 3 years from now. We can just do this order of operation. And so that's what I think makes it tough. And Dak had the advantage of Dak is a quarterback and the face of the franchise.
Right.
They couldn't let him go. They absolutely couldn't.
Yeah.
So when they got to the point where it was like, okay, but if I play this season out, I'm actually hitting free agency as a franchise quarterback in his prime. You want that? And so they had to give him everything he ever dreamed of. And so I don't think it's totally apples to apples,
no,
but I get what Dak is doing. Dak wants to keep vibes up. He wants George to feel good. Look, if you have to play on the tag, that's fine. That can play out really well for you. He's just trying to keep vibes right.
No, and you're barking up the right tree. That's how you do a deal when you say, what's the tag this year? What's the tag next year? What's the tag the following year? And then that's the baseline or the basement for any deal.
Right.
Okay? So, I think, when I brought up that 3 years, $90 million, I mean, that's kind of what it is.
I'm sure the third tag would be insane. So it'd be like 27, 31, 40 something.
Yeah. So
so the Cowboys might view it as, we don't care about that 40 something. We could do 2 years and get him for this much. And if he wants more than that,
Yeah, but if you're really trying to do a long-term deal, that's the baseline.
Right.
And so, that's if we're really going to be honest about negotiating and being fairly negotiating, the baseline is going to be in that 33, 30, whatever. That's what we're doing.
Let's hit a couple of these super chats. I saw we got a couple already. We're off to a hot start. Armand's in the chat, and he's tearing it up. Hit the like button while you're here, please. We're trying to get to 247 today. Love the offseason for the new hope and optimism, but hate it as a Cowboys fan due to the media engagement and click farming. Can I tell you my favorite thing about this offseason? I thought about doing it as a full segment. My favorite, and you do have to be careful on what you take in, and don't take the bait on certain things, and don't share certain things. Because if people aren't broadcasting with any substance, I try not to give them energy, and sometimes I take the bait. I saw Joe Hoyt got today.
Right.
He got today. He shared clickbaiters just to say this is stupid. And I'm like, yeah, but they just won. Yeah. Because you just shared that to another audience. And so I don't love that part of it. My favorite part about this offseason, I have no clue.
Right.
There's so many things they need to do. There's so many ways they could do things. And I have no idea what they're going to do. And to me, that's super fun. Right. Like in your role, you're as informed about the Dallas Cowboys as anyone on the planet. Number one on the planet. And that's awesome. I'm not, and I'm just looking at their roster and what the draft could look like and what they could and should do in free agency, and I have no clue what they're going to actually do, and I think it's fun.
Oh, it is fun. Can you put that initial thing back up? The
first super chat?
The first super chat. And Amon, I'm not picking on you.
Don't you do it. That man's helping. I don't know what channel that super chat's on, but he might be helping the pool fund. You watch your mouth.
No, I got you on mine, and you can do the next. But Joe tweeted stuff from Aubrey. We can talk about Aubrey. But Joe tweeted stuff from Aubrey at a press conference, and somebody said, it's the media causing these players to want more money. And it's not the media. It is not the media.
No, it's the salary cap and how markets work.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is the media is not encouraging players to ask for more money. And the media is not encouraging players to go against the Cowboys or whatever else because you're mad that these negotiations get messy and nasty and the players want to maximize their earnings, just like Jerry's maximizing his earnings.
Right.
And it's not the media that's doing that. Players should want to maximize their earnings just like Jerry maximizes his ticket price.
Yeah, everybody does, right?
But people get mad at the media because we're asking these questions, we're sharing, and maybe, Joe talked to Aubrey yesterday at an event, and Aubrey said that, they put me on, they placed a tender on me, but it's not ideal. It's not the 5.8 is not ideal.
Because he's a player and he has a good agent and he's coached. Like he knows, he's told what to say, Like I think you can tell from the way that the Aubrey thing has gone so far, Brandon Aubrey does not want to be the bad guy. Brandon Aubrey does not want the fan base to be mad at him. Like Dak doesn't care. No. When it's Dak's time, he doesn't care. I have an agent. It's going to work itself out. The online stuff isn't going to bother me. Brandon Aubrey's been in the NFL for, a couple of years now?
Right.
And before that, had none of this part of this was not his world. And now it's time for a big-time negotiation. And when things get reported and it leads the fan base, or even me, when I heard $10 million, I'm like, it's the kicker. Move on. Right. Let somebody else sign him, whatever. Like, nobody wants that to be said about you. Like, fortunately, we live in a much smaller version. I'll have a contract negotiation soon. I don't want the whole world talking about it. I don't want people like, well, why don't you just get somebody else? Like, it's not fun. He doesn't want to do this, but he has to say this because he's in the middle of a contract negotiation. He can't say, money doesn't matter to me. I just want to be a Cowboy. It's amazing. Give me a contract. Because his agent has to work after that. And so you say what you're supposed to say. Sure, the tag is my tender is a nice raise.
And the Cowboys have already offered you more than that too.
Right. I would like to have a long-term deal.
But it's part of the negotiation. You give me a number, then I give you a number. Maybe we meet somewhere in the middle. Yeah. But don't get mad at me, as fans are, for asking for the moon.
Right.
And it's my right to ask for the moon. And one thing that they didn't ask him about yesterday was they didn't ask him about the $10 million asking price, which I think should have been part of the conversation.
Why? It's already been It's established that never happened.
No. When was it established that he didn't ask for $10 million?
When Todd France posted on Instagram, the combine is a time for lies and untruths and stuff. And then Calvin made an apology video.
Now, his apology video was about the Cowboys offer. He had it wrong. The Cowboys offered 7.5 when they didn't offer for 7.
Okay.
That's what he was apologizing about. Nobody disputed that they asked for $10 million.
Okay.
Nobody publicly disputed they asked for $10 million.
You greedy kicker.
And so now he's become the greedy kicker.
You greedy kicker.
And he acknowledged that, hey, I got to look at my options and I could be somewhere else. And again, from the Cowboys standpoint, we want Aubrey. We want Aubrey. But if somebody signs him and we get a second-round pick, we ain't going to be crying our pillow.
No, I'll find a kicker. I think it's way more likely you end up with a kicker who's just fine than you end up with a guy who can't kick, especially in the year of our Lord 2026 when whatever they did to the ball, everybody's kicking good. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, we will preview who's going to be standing next to DeMarvion Overshown next year. We need a linebacker. What's free agency look like in that regard? It's next. Let's take a moment to talk about our guys over there at Branded Bills. I love Branded Bills. If you can't tell, every hat that is on my head when you watch this show is a Branded Bills hat. This is the Branded Bills DLLS hat. And my other one, my Texas hat, the black one, is from Branded Bills as well. I absolutely love them. And they're not just hats, but if you want one, you want a snapback, a trucker, a fitted, a beanie, a T-shirt, Branded Bills has got you covered, performance and style. And maybe you want to make your own gear. You're looking for some gear that'll help your brand stand apart from the rest. Our guys at Branded Bills can do that too. The best custom headwear. You just start your order, and their team's going to help you create the exact custom apparel that you need during the show. You can oftentimes see on the table in front of me, we have the bunch of college football or college hats. They have a partnership with 40 colleges as part of their campus collection in the TCU, Texas Tech, Texas, Oklahoma State. The hats are sweet. Head over to brandedbills.com. Use the code BBDLLS, and that is going to get you 15% off your first order with our friends at Branded Bills. Also, shout out to Fabletics. Boy, I love the stuff that they have sent us. Whether you're wearing it for a workout like I did yesterday at my Pilates, or a T-shirt from Fabletics, and my shorts were from Fabletics. Whether you're hanging out, having comfortable gear that you wear is important. I love wearing pretty much everything. I have a rain jacket from Fabletics, and it's pretty sweet. It doesn't even have to be raining out because it looks good and it feels good. But the pants, the T-shirts, the shorts, everything they got, the socks, the undies, they got it all. Activewear for men feels like the kind of high-end product that you'd be paying a couple $100 for. And you get that same premium fit, the same durability at a tiny fraction of the house. The joggers are great. The hoodies are great. T-shirts, jackets. Everything feels soft, breathable, and flexible. It's great stuff. Get 80% off everything when you sign up as a VIP. Just head to fabletics.com/DLLS. Take a quick style quiz. Be sure to select DLLS when prompted to unlock your 80% off. That's fabletics.com/DLLS. Let's find a dance partner for DeMarvion Overshown and the Cowboys' new defense. Overshown is no doubt going to be one of your inside linebackers. You'll have your three big old boys down there on the line of scrimmage. You'll have a couple outside pass rushers, and you'll have two off-the-ball linebackers. DeMarvion Overshown is going to be one of them. We're getting ready for free agency, which starts next week. Please smash the like button on your way in. We sure would appreciate it. And we appreciate all you guys being in the chat. All we need is everything but DT on defense. Let's go. Yes. And so we're looking for somebody to play next to DeMarvion Overshown. And much like every other position, there's going to be a question, to me anyway, as it only matters for the next 5 days or so. Is it more likely that they're going to spend money to put somebody next to Overshown, or is it more likely that they're going to use a high draft pick to put somebody next to Overshown? And I think this position, Chill, is more likely to be free agency. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it should be free agency, right?
I think so. And here's your free agent linebackers on Greg Rosenthal's top 101 free agents, the top ones. And Devin Lloyd just had a career year at the perfect time. If I'm remembering this correctly, they said no thank you to his fifth-year option. Then he went nuts. And now he's going to get rewarded by somebody. Caden Ellis in Atlanta, Leo Chenal in Kansas City, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker. And obviously one name out of that group seems to be the favorite for Dallas. Which one would that be, Clarence?
It's my frat brother, Nakobe Dean. He's Q's. Root to the good brothers. Nakobe Dean, come on down. He has a relationship with Christian Parker. He knows the defense. The problem with Nakobe Dean, it was a problem in the draft coming out of Georgia. He's small, and he's thus proven to be injury prone. Or he's been injured and not been on the field a lot. And so that's an issue. But as far as everything the Cowboys are looking for that position, opposite, overshown that other linebacker, he knows the defense. He's smart. He's a leader. That's one thing he was great at Georgia. He was a leader. And he can certainly set the tone for you. My question for you is that
hit me.
Quay Walker. He was also at Georgia, right?
Yes.
What happened? What's wrong with
I'll
that?
have to go watch because I have people who I trust that are Packer fans or analysts that are telling me that may not be the guy you want. So I have to go look at his tape, but I have heard that may not be the guy. And Nakobe Dean's tape ain't perfect either. He's had some ups and downs in both coverage and run defense. But familiarity with the defense could be your green dot, can run, can hit. I think it all lines up for Nakobe Dean to be a Dallas Cowboy unless he has a bigger market than we think. I think that's the sort of guy.
Yeah, it's all about the money. You know, I talk to his agents, you know, and you know, it's, you know, obviously it has to be the right fit and what the money is. And so, you know, Philadelphia, you know, return to Philadelphia is certainly an option for him, but you know, it's about the money. My question to you.
Hit me with another one. I'm ready.
You draft Nakobe Dean. That's fine. Does that preclude you from drafting a off-the-ball linebacker? The problem is we don't have a second, third round pick. But I don't know if you're going to get the guy you want in the fourth round or the fifth round.
Yeah.
But it doesn't preclude you from taking an off-the-ball linebacker in the draft. Say you move down and my homeboy Anthony Hill is there in the second round.
You could still pick him. And I think he has elements of both different linebacker spots for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has some of the things you want in an off-ball linebacker. He has some of the things you would want as a guy who lines up on the line and rushes the
4.51 had a good combine.
Wasn't it last year? Didn't Texas have him going after the quarterback more often?
Yeah.
And that was kind of some of his best stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think you could still find a way to have him on the football team. I think that still works. I want this team to have a second and third round pick so bad.
So that means
I'm glad I have
trade
George Pickens and I'm glad I have Quentin Williams. But man, I want a second and third round pick in this draft so bad.
That's the problem. You love the draft.
I do.
But why don't you love players?
I do love players.
Would you rather have George Pickens or a second round pick? Because it's either or.
Third round pick.
George Pickens. Okay, so don't cry over that third round pick.
Just go get me another one. Go get me another one.
But then you got to give up that first round pick that you had.
We're gonna trade down, or we're gonna trade next year picks to go dance on day 2 of the draft. There's just so.
Is next year's draft better? I know it's better at quarterback. Is it better overall?
It's better at quarterback and running back. It's better at wide receiver.
It
may not be better at wide receiver. It's better at the top at wide receiver.
It's better at pass rusher.
It's better at pass rush.
My boy from Texas coming out of pass rush. So I mean,
why would I trade
a next year pick?
Do you think the Cowboys got played on all these trades? It was like, yeah, let them end up with 2 first-round picks in the year where you don't want 2 first-round picks.
Well, that's the crazy part. Is right. If somebody else got the same way, you got all these first-round picks in a down year for the draft.
Go fire one off for a player. Let's go ahead and Rams it up. Fire one off for a player and get me a day 2 pick back. We just got to find the right player. Like, I see people talking about the Rams and the F them pick strategy. They've picked, one player in the first round since 2017, and it was Jared Verse, so they got it right with the one that they picked. They've traded picks that ended up with, indirectly, Goff, Ramsey, Stafford, Brandon Cooks. And Cooks was good there. He was still a 1,000-yard guy. But the thing about the Rams and the way that they've done it, when you say, oh, yeah, that's right, those picks don't matter, go look at how they've drafted even without them. They've just been crushing it. The Rams have just been so good.
When you get Puka in the fourth round, you say up them pick, but you got Puka in the fourth round.
They have picked so well, even without their first-round picks. And the trouble here is we're kind of in a funk on all of it for about 3 years. And we need to get all of it together.
It was so funny. And
better be funny.
2 years ago, there was a guy with the same name, and the Raiders were targeting this guy to pick. I can't even think of his name. And they called him and said, we're going to pick him. they picked the wrong guy, and the Rams picked that guy. And the guy is
the guy who had
I can't think
there
of
was
his
two
name.
guys with the same name in the same draft.
And the Rams picked the
Now,
right
was
guy.
that a real story, or did you get bamboozled on Twitter?
No, stop it. It was a real story.
Okay.
He played the league. I mean, it's a real story.
Because I think they would know the college and position of the guy they were picking.
It's the Raiders.
I think they just happened to pick the worst one. I think they picked the one with the better 40 time.
It's crazy. Huh?
That was the name I was thinking.
Yeah,
there were two.
Yeah, it's two Byron Young. Yeah,
there were two Byron Young.
Yeah, he picked the wrong. But the Rams picked the right guy, and the Raiders picked the wrong guy. And the Raiders intentionally picked the other guy. But yeah, so they do a really good job picking, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, the draft is to get good players, and as we're talking about the draft, and certainly it goes hand in hand with free agency. The Maxx Crosby rumors won't stop. The smoke is like when are we gonna get that? When they find a new pope, we're gonna get that white smoke coming out somewhere downtown Dallas.
Or Lord of the Rings, when you light the signal fires to make sure everyone knows we're under attack.
They won't stop. He posted some on a Shabuzi song about a cowboy in his jeans or something like that.
Sounds like he's gonna be a cowboy to me. Sounds like they're going to get the 12th overall pick, and we're going to get
now
Maxx
Vegas
Crosby.
has the Cowboys at the highest odds to get him. And my question to you,
I don't know if this counts as Vegas, but now we have to learn.
Yeah.
We have to learn these new things, these predictive markets, which is, that's just gambling, right?
It is gambling.
Are they gambling or are they just predicting? Can I bet on that?
You can.
Okay, because they've got Dallas as the favorite to be his next team. I don't know if I bias as the favorite, but I buy it as it lines up with what the Cowboys need, with the feeling that Maxx Crosby won't be a Raider next year. I shouldn't say this because people are tired of hearing it. I also think it's hilarious. You did all these moves to try to make your defense better. You had the worst defense in the entire league, and now you're trying to replace Micah Parsons. Whoops. That's kind of funny to me. It shouldn't be funny. It should be sad, but it's kind of funny to me.
It's funny. Let's be honest about it. You get rid of Micah Parsons, and if you do that to acquire a much older, less accomplished pass rusher.
So that's the reason I can't give up 2 first-round picks, because that just feels blasphemous.
But there are people
I'm not giving up the same thing that I got back for the younger player entering the prime of his career and acknowledge that we made a mistake and then turn around and give up the same thing when I had to go give up other picks to try to fix a different part of my defense. Now I'm just looking at my team going, what are you doing?
Yeah, and that's why there are narratives, because I saw Dan Petrie talking about the Cowboys can still win the Micah Parsons trade if they go get Maxx Crosby, and you add Maxx Crosby to go with Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark. You got 3 players for 1 player. Do you win the Micah Parsons trade?
No, because I have a functional brain, and I could go backwards and say the ideal way to play this out would have been to still have Micah Parsons and to have never had Kenny Clark and to have traded for Quentin Williams with the exact same things that you did trade. You could have Micah Parsons and have traded a 1 and a 2 for Quentin.
Still could have.
Now you're dancing.
But so we can't undo the past.
No, we can't.
But as we look forward,
look at the lunatic gift and memberships in the chat. What a beast. Appreciate you, the lunatic.
Thank you, the lunatic. But so now we can't undo the past. As we move forward, as we're trying to climb out of this.
Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors.
And make something good of this is getting Maxx. Does this make us whole again? Does this get us in the right ship, right direction? If that's what the case is. And again, I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for him, for a 29-year-old player.
No, you have number 12 overall.
Or 20.
You could have 20 and OSA.
You getting rid of OSA?
Don't worry about that. I'm just throwing something out there.
They want 2 firsts and a player.
Well, you tell them I said to have a Coke and a smile and shut up, and I'm gonna hang up on them. No, that's too much.
So that's what do you give up for him, and what do you do? And then you got Trey Hendrickson out there, and then some other guys in the free agent market.
What lifetime will we be done talking Micah Parsons? I think I will stop taking jabs at them over Micah Parsons sometime after his enshrinement.
I don't understand.
Probably right after his enshrinement.
I don't understand. And
I wish the Mavericks still had Luka too.
Right. I mean, we're never stop talking about the Luka trade. Why do y'all hate Micah so much that we can't talk about Micah? We're going to talk about DeMarcus Lawrence. We talked about DeMarcus Ware. Hell, we still talking about the Herschel Walker trade, okay? Yeah. And Jerry's talking about.
Jerry's not going to stop.
I mean, why should we talk? It's a franchise-altering decision. They will be linked to the Micah Parsons trade until he goes in the Hall of Fame. And you know damn well he's going to the Hall of Fame barring injury, okay? That's going to be a talking point. That's part of their legacy. That's part of his legacy. The idea that we can't talk about a lot Micah Parsons, y'all are delusional. Micah Parsons sucks.
You went from the snaps he played as a Cowboy, having the #1 defense in EPA, even while surrounded with very similar things to what Quinnen and Kenny were just surrounded with, and you were #1 on the snaps he played, and you were number 32 when he didn't play, and then when he was gone, you're the worst defense in football. He was really good, and it was stupid to trade him. No, I won't be over it until you do better.
Even if you do better, it's still a conversation. It's still something to talk about. You're not letting it go. Just like we talked about DeMarcus Lawrence and Jerry talking about how he rooted for Lawrence in the Super Bowl. That connection is never dying.
Coming up next on the DLS Cowboys podcast, we'll hit your super chats. I'm sorry we haven't done that yet. Please smash the like button. But coming up next, we're going to do a little donging around the NFL draft. Are that many positions really off limits for the Cowboys? It's next. It is draft season, and in draft season, you want to make sure that you are equipped. You want to be equipped. You want to be able to be watching the draft and feel like you know a lot about all of these players. And I would like to shout out to all of you out there who do put in all the work you can. You get a hold of as much ways to watch these guys as you can, and you've got opinions about players. I think it makes it fun to talk about. Fran Duffy has the experience of watching these guys on tape, being at the Shrine Bowl, being at the Senior Bowl, being at the Combine, talking to scouts and executives, all these different things. And when you're a diehard, you get access to the 2026 diehard draft guide. It's now up to about 300 players. You get scouting reports on all these different guys. You get the rankings that Fran's got on these guys so that you can have a feel for the guys that you're adding to your football team at 12 and 20, or maybe at maybe Maxx Crosby gets added instead of 12, and maybe 20 gets traded down, and I get to pick a couple of guys on day 2. I don't know, but you want to be ready for that. And Fran Duffy's draft guide is absolutely incredible. And when you're a diehard, in addition to all the other things that you get when you're a DLLS diehard, you also get that draft guide, which is super cool. You still get your free t-shirt as well. You want to get the Stay Shiesty t-shirt? Go for it. You want to get the 88 Club t-shirt? Go for it. It's free when you sign up to be a diehard. That's a nice shirt. Whoever came up with the idea for that shirt, genius. It was me. It's a wonderful shirt. But you get whatever one you want. You get all of our premium content on the website. You get access to that, which is nice. You get an ad-free experience on the website, which is nice. You get into the Discord, which still doesn't have a feet channel, but you can talk about all sorts of other things with DFW sports diehards like yourself and us, all the on-air and behind-the-scenes people at DLLS. We're all up in there having ourselves a good time. So get access to that draft guide. Make sure that you're signed up to be a diehard. There's a QR code on the screen for you. It's also, of course, in the description. And you'll be all squared away as a DFW sports fan doing the best that you can. So sign up to be a diehard. Do it today or else, which is not a threat.
People remain triggered. Y'all want to be triggered.
It's okay.
They want to be triggered.
It's okay. Look, sports has all sorts of fans. And I think some fans, it's, this is my team. Once you're not on my team, you are my enemy. And I think that's fine. That's totally fine. And then I think some people who cover it or follow it as it all goes along, and you realize exactly what happened in that scenario, you realize that the Cowboys made a mistake that no one in that front office wanted to make, no one intended to make, and it hurt you last year. So that's a story.
Right.
It hurt your team a lot last year that you let a player go because Jerry Jones got upset that a tactic he tried to use didn't work, and it made him so mad that he just traded the guy, and it hurt your team. So, yeah, that's a story. And if you don't want to hear about it, that's okay. And if you want to hate Micah because of the way that he tried to play the game to get paid, that's fine too. I think that's fine. That's fine.
It is all fine, but the idea that we talk about Micah and his agent more than anything else, that's not true.
No, but when we're talking about the Cowboys defense and rebuilding it and what's wrong with it and the things that they're trying to do, like what they're trying to do is replace 80% of Micah Parsons. Their biggest goal right now is how the hell do we get anything like Micah Parsons? That's their biggest challenge. And so to not look back and go like, you already had him, why wouldn't you acknowledge that? Like you already had this fix.
And Jerry brought up the agent unprovoked. He brought up that conversation about the agent because he's the one who started the the controversy regarding the agent. I don't speak to agent. Then I've had agents sleep in my house. What's the problem with this agent?
Nobody knows. Super chats. Let me get caught up here. Please smash the like button while you're here, unless you hate us. Please hit the like button anyway, just to be kind. Armand's in here. Hey Jeff, why not throw a little pool party event and charge it a bit and use that money towards the fund? We're gonna need background checks. Okay. I'm going to have to lock up the valuable. I don't have any valuables, but we're going to do background checks if I'm going to have people at the house.
You're an expensive housewife.
I'm
a rich housewife.
I am a rich housewife, but I don't think anybody's going to pick up my Peloton and run out the door. So I think I'll be okay.
Do you use that thing?
Peloton?
Yes. You got it when it was all hot.
I did occasionally. I haven't lately, and it's going to be a while when they replace my knee next week.
Send that thing over to my house. Let me borrow it.
MD Rose in the chat. It's a great place to hang clothes. Morning, gentlemen. Wild thought. What about Overshown playing more of that hybrid nickel role? He kind of reminds me of Woody, who's Hall of Fame in absentia. I don't think Overshown's built that way for the coverage part of it. I think his best spot is off the ball in this defense because his best thing is actually not taking on and defeating blocks. It's just fly. Just fly and hit people. So put a bunch of big dudes in front of him and give him a clear shot to go run and make plays. I think that's his best role. I think you need more of a cover guy when you're talking about that hybrid nickel role. GM Ben's in the chat. I'm putting a franchise tag on Jeff. I'll play on that tag. What's the tag in media? What's the tag in media?
You getting a first round pick tag? You get a franchise? What's tag you getting?
I'll take the second round tender.
Okay.
I'll take that. MD Rowe, when did Jera and Catboy put a tender on Chill? They've never paid his salary.
Never paid my.
That is fun on social media. It's like, Jerry pays you. Jerry's never paid either one of our salaries.
Well, Jerry pays you, and you talk about.
He paid him when he played for him.
You take a check from Jerry, and they talk about them. How dare you talk about them?
If Jerry paid my check, I would have taken so many pay cuts. He would have taken money. I'd be fined all the time. I don't think he would like me as an employee. Matter of fact, I have been fired from a Cowboy gig one time. So, the Lunatics support new Cowboys media. Jerry hears what Cowboys Nation wants through our content creators. We want to bust the budget and try to get Max DC4L. I'm in. Austin. Jeff, in your opinion, is Thieneman, that's the Oregon safety, closer to Caleb Downs? Thieneman. Or is he closer to Jalen Kilgore? Kilgore's a box safety, South Carolina, I believe, who's a nice prospect. But he's a little bit weird in that he ran a 4.3 and he tested as like one of the best athletes on the planet. But much like Miami has their nickel, Keontae Scott, boy, they will have to take big old strides in coverage if you're going to, when you're playing nickel in the NFL. They're going to take big strides in coverage.
I'm with you, Devery. I'm the youngest on the show, baby.
That's right.
I'm younger than Jesse.
So I think Thieneman's closer to Downs than Kilgore is to Thieneman, at least according to me. My draft question of the day, because I tweeted it this morning and I think I asked you, because I'm just playing with different guys being available at different spots in the draft. If you got to the Cowboys' second first-round pick and Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end that runs did he run a 4.3 or a 4.4? He runs fast.
Tight end.
He's 6'3", he's 245. He blocks better than you would think for that size. And he's incredibly athletic tight end. Would the entire Metroplex or all of Cowboys Nation lose their mind if you took a tight end at 20?
Yes.
And are we setting ourselves up, that leads to my follow-up, are we setting ourselves up to fail an NFL draft if we think offensive line is a no-go, defensive tackle is a no-go, wide receiver is a no-go, tight end is a no-go? Do you think you're going to pick the best players? If half the players in the draft are off limits?
I like, that's the thing about the draft, because we want to draft pure, want to take the best players regardless of position.
Close as you can.
You're at the top of the draft because you have freaking needs, okay? You have major needs. That's why you're picking where you are. That's why the quarterback who's not close to the best player in the draft is being picked first. We're addressing needs, and there are needs at positions that even though they might not be a better player, they go higher than other guys because you draft needs. And so, yes, theoretically, you want to just pick the best player regardless of position, just get all the talent. But you have needs for a reason. And unless the tight end is heading several picks, several spots above the next guy at the need, but then you do it. Kind of like the CeeDee Lamb, but you had to take CD because the need or the value outweighed the need by so much.
Yeah.
Because, it's funny, and it better be funny.
Better be.
Because the guy that everybody thought they were going to pick is the guy that is in free agency now. Everybody thinks the Cowboys could be an option is the defensive end from
Kayvon Chaisson,
right?
Yeah.
He's been a bust. He's only come and become a decent player the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, he's an okay pass rusher.
He's okay pass rusher, but he's the guy that everybody was mocking to the Cowboys when they thought CD was going to be off the board.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys, took the best player. When the best player is that much better than the need, then you take the best player. But most likely the tight end won't be 10 slots better than the guy you have picked at that point.
I guess the way I'm looking at it is.
And one other thing real quick. The Cowboys don't even talk to tight ends at the combine.
That's a sneak attack. It's a sneak attack.
I mean, the last couple of years, they have not done any formal interviews with tight end because they feel they're good. And again, I said it's Brevin Span's fourth season. It's Brevin Span's fourth season.
Brevin would play great with Kenyon Sadiq. And that's just a name that I was throwing out because another one is like, if you got to 12 overall, and if no one has picked the Miami right tackle, Francis Maui-Noa, I think he'll be the best player on the board.
Okay.
And
by how much at that point?
It can't be by too terribly much because you're 12 picks in.
Right.
But it's the same. But okay, we can do this with the 12th pick. And I think they kind of got lucky here, but they didn't want to draft Micah Parsons. They wanted to draft Pat Surtain or J.C. Horn. They wanted to draft the guys. They wanted to draft the guys they needed, and because they couldn't draft the guys they needed, they picked the best player on their board. That worked out pretty good.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb. They picked the best player on the board. That worked out. Zach Martin. They picked the best player on the board. That worked out. Tyler Guyton. They picked what they needed. Not great so far. Mozzie Smith. They picked what they needed. Didn't work out so great.
That's at
Taco Charlton. They picked what they needed.
That's at the bottom of the first round.
I gave you the exact same number. Micah Parsons was 12.
Okay.
12.
But they also needed help pass rush help. We were all down on DeMarcus Lawrence.
They didn't know he was a pass rusher.
They talked about it a little bit. He got pass rush ability. They needed that position. They need a difference maker.
I'm just saying
they needed a difference maker on defense.
They
needed a difference maker on defense.
Well, everybody needs a difference maker on defense at all times. All I'm saying is if you are telling me 4 positions are not allowed with your first round picks, I'm telling you your chances of making bad picks are going way up.
And I think we're talking about different conversations at 12 and 20.
12. Well, you think people would be okay with taking an offensive player at 20?
It depends on what you get at 12.
Well, it'll be a defensive player. We took a defensive player.
And
it's just to me, free agency is for need, draft is for best players, best values. Fill all your needs.
The idea that you don't fill needs in the draft is
it's part of it.
It's
for sure.
naive.
It's part of it.
This whole notion that you're
and it's more the further you go.
Yeah. You're filling needs. That's why you're in the draft. And it sounds good that we just want to focus on the best player, but you got obvious needs on this defense. And I asked Jerry about this. Why not an all defensive draft? That's the fire that's burning.
I think it's possible.
We talk about all lives matter, all players matter, all positions matter. They do, and all positions matter. But the fire is on defense right now. It's raging.
Well, the fire extinguisher.
Let's put the extinguisher on the defense.
Why don't you break out the extinguisher on Monday?
Well, they're going to do that
They'll sign a linebacker, a corner,
let's
a safety.
Focus on the draft, and let's focus on defense and free agency and the draft.
They will. They're going to.
You had the number 1 offense in the league, number 1 scoring offense in the league. You should even get better in year 2 with more comfort with Shoddy and really understanding how you can use CD and Pickens. You should only get better from inside. But you need help. You need infusion of talent on defense.
You're right. I just think they should spend money on it.
Well, we can do both.
If you go in and you tell me I'm not allowed to use pick 12 or 20 on offensive line,
Well, we're not
defensive
gonna say
tackle,
that, 'cause never say never.
wide
right?
receiver,
Never say never.
or tight end, then I'm gonna tell you, man, we're trying hard to fail at this.
So what if Love falls to 12? You just signed a corner. You just signed a running back.
I'd take him at 20.
I'll
take him
he's
at
the
20.
best player by far at 12 for you.
I could do it.
Okay.
I can maybe do
You
it.
want to take a tight end at 20, but you want to take Love at 12.
Let's take them both.
Okay.
We're going to have to spend a lot of money on defense. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, everything we haven't hit, and we got questions from the people. The DLLS Cowboys podcast rolls on next. We got St. Patty's coming up, which means we got some pretty sweet merch for you. Why don't you go check that stuff out on alldlls.com. Get yourself some St. Patty's gear. You want to be dressed properly and having yourself a time when the time comes. A lot of beer-related things on there. I don't know if you drink beer on St. Patrick's Day, Clarence. I don't know if I'll be allowed to drink beer on St. Patty's Day this year. I'll be high on painkillers.
What is St. Patrick's Day? Because,
no, I walk out on, I'm having my knee replaced Wednesday. I'll walk out Thursday, and the parade, I believe, is Friday. Or is it Saturday?
Saturday.
It's Saturday. In theory, they say nicotine's bad for healing. So they say no nicotine 24 hours before surgery, and you don't want to use nicotine after surgery, but I am addicted, so it'll be less nicotine. No, I'll have it figured out. I'll be fine.
I do party on St. Patrick's Day.
You get down?
Dallas got a lot of good black parties on St. Patrick's Day.
What about
a lot
white?
of black leprechauns.
What about He's
white
a black
parties?
man.
We know white folks party on St.
There any
Patrick's
white
Day.
parties out there?
Yo, no doubt. Iris and Todd Archer. That's Todd Archer. My boys at Sandaga throw a great St. Patrick's Day party.
Also, get signed up to be a part of our Subscribers Party People Club, the Subscriber Club, Supporters Club. That's the words. Sign up for the Supporters Club. You see the pop emojis in the chat. You want to be able to fire those things in there. That's what you get when you're part of the Supporters Club. You see them the little icons next to the names. It looks like we got 5 new ones, courtesy of our guy, the Lunatic, in the chat today. Sign up to be part of the Supporters Club. It's a good time. It's worth it. You'll enjoy yourself. Go ahead and get after that, all right? Do it. Or else, which, of course, is not a threat. I did kind of try to trade OSA this morning. I'd like to apologize for that.
Why you starting mess, though? Why are you starting mess?
I'm not starting mess. I'm trying to build out my team.
One of my boys texted me talking about you got a new leisure suit. This is a new track suit.
Yeah, it's Fabletics.
My new Fabletics track suit.
Yeah, that's the Fabletics. It's nice.
Got a little Olive Fabletics shirt on, to go with this,
I think Christian Parker's got a lot he's got to do to fix his defense. And I think, you tell me if I'm wrong. You tell me if I'm wrong that of the defensive linemen that are the big money guys on this D-line, Quinnen, Osa, Kenny, that the one where the fit is the least certain is Osa. Is that right or wrong?
To who? To who? To who is the question?
To the player,
not the team,
and to the coach. So the team thinks it's good. The team thinks it fits good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Player doesn't think it fits good.
So Osa signed a contract, one of the top defense tackles contracts, to be that pass rushing defense tackle.
Yeah, 3 technique. Get
technique.
upfield.
That's what you sign. That's what you want. He was supposed to be, potentially be, and we're projecting him to be, what Warren Sapp was at 4.3, right?
Yeah.
That's
get him.
Yeah. He's supposed to be attack the quarterback, 3 technique, pass rush guy. That's his skill. He's under 300 pounds, right?
Yeah.
So he's not, the big run stopping behemoth. In this defense, he's going to basically be the run stopping end. He's the Marcus Spears position. Okay?
Right.
Which his first job is to stop the run. Set the edge, not to get to the quarterback. Now, he got paid already, which is cool. But
yeah, you got your money. Go do what you're supposed to do.
It is not best for him in his future development, second contract, to be in a position where he don't put up numbers.
So I didn't think my guess was he wasn't tradable. I hadn't looked at it because he just got paid, last year, right? And so I assumed with the guaranteed money, he wouldn't be tradable. He is.
But why would the Cowboys do it?
If you thought that you could find a better fit there. But to your point, if they think that he's a good fit, then they're probably not interested in that. And he should be able to do that job. It's not what he's been best at in his NFL career. He has not been a great run defender. He's been a good pass rusher. But he is a long-armed dude who was an incredible wrestler in college. Like, the leverage game should be a good game for him to play. Like, I don't think that he's not capable of doing the job.
Right.
But if he didn't love it, or if they didn't love it, and you did want to, you could trade.
Well, and let's be honest.
We got 3 $20 million run stoppers.
Theoretically, that's not what he wants to do. And they're going to ask him to play the 5-10. They do that, but when I understand 30%, 40% of the snap. That's not theoretically what he wants to do. And from their point of view, when you look at the 3 defense tackles they have, he's the best fit for that position. Now, is that his strong? So maybe not.
Well, I think Quinnen could do every job better.
Yeah, but that's not the best use of Quinnen.
Right.
Okay, you best use of Quinnen to be the 3 technique guy to get out the quarterback, which is what he does best and better than, at this point, any defensive tackle in the league, maybe save for the dude in Kansas City?
Maybe. I'd have to go look real quick, but yeah, maybe. You're real good at it.
Yeah, I'm talking about get to the quarterback, pass rushing, defensive tackle. And so that's what he does best, and that's what you're going to have him do best. And, of course, the nose tackle is Kenny Clark. That's what he does. That's what he fits. He's the classic nose tackle, although this defense is not the classic 3-4 defense. We had Tony Saragusa in the middle and all the other stuff. They will be attacking a little more than you had Saragusa just holding up the middle and, letting guys run and make plays. But you want to trade OSA?
I'm just saying it's possible that you could.
A lot of people thought, from looking at the numbers, like these things, I thought it was impossible to trade him.
But you would eat like 15, 16 million, but you would save 4. Like, untradeable is when the number that you eat is bigger and you don't save anything.
That deal, right.
Right. But you could technically do it if you wanted to and save you a little bit of money. I got some questions from the people. JD said, say you spend $8 to $10 million per year for one edge, linebacker, corner, and safety. How would you sequence the draft to add in 3 more rotational players? See, and to me, that's the dream. And I don't know if they can pull it off, and I don't know if they're willing to pull it off. I was reading an article on ESPN today about it was a free agency preview and the teams that could be the most active and the teams that might do nothing. And one of the teams listed as might do nothing was the Cowboys. And it was just like, look, despite what Jerry has said this offseason, he's said that in a lot of offseasons. They don't have the most money to spend. They do have Pickens on the tag. They do have, all of these different things going on. Don't be surprised if they don't spend much money. But that's my dream, is to just be competent at every spot so I can draft the way I want to. That's all I want. I want to be able to draft the way I want to. And I need somebody to start opposite Ezeraku. I need somebody who's capable of starting next to Overshown, which I think you'll get. I need a safety to start with Malik Hooker, which I think you'll get in free agency.
Let me ask you a question. You just like to draft.
I do like the draft.
You just like to draft.
I do.
You want to draft players.
I like to draft.
Say you had a bar.
Uh-huh.
You had 2 bars. Got a bar over here and a bar over here.
Yeah.
This bar is a bunch of 5s.
Okay.
This bar has got a bunch of 10s.
Yeah.
But because you like to pick up women, you're in the 5s. Are you excited about being in the 5 bar?
Why are you making all of the players in the draft bad and all the players in the league good?
But are you? No, I'm just saying. Are you? Because next year got more 10s.
Because Kenneth Murray is in the 10
Next year got more
one.
10s than this year got all these 5s, 6s, and 7s. I'm just saying. Are you really excited to add all these 5s and 6s just because you like to pick up women?
No,
just because you have a thirst to pick up women. Like you have a thirst to draft.
Because right now,
you have a thirst to draft.
No, the problem is at the harem at the house right now, you got a bunch of 2s. Okay.
So
I'm just looking for a bigger number. I'm just trying to better is better.
He wants the big girls.
I'm just trying to get
everybody got a mama.
I'm just trying to get better.
I know you're trying to get better, but I just want to draft. Are you going to really add starters?
Yes.
Are you really going to add difference makers?
Sure.
You're going to really add difference makers.
I want the ability to.
Just getting excited about adding guys. I just don't get the thrill of adding a lot of 5s and 6s.
Well, then you don't care about free agency either. because they're going to add a bunch of 5s and 6s.
They can trade for a 9 or a 10.
They could trade for a 9 or a 10. And then they would say they can't sign anybody.
If they trade for the 9 or 10, then the supplemental 5s and 6s, they make them look a little better.
They do need Maxx Crosby because he who should not be named or must not be named. Keyshawn Nixon's not a good NFL corner.
Sucks.
He was last year while Micah Parsons was healthy, and then Micah got hurt and he sucked again. You could maybe make your secondary survive. You go get Maxx Crosby. You let Quinnen and Max get after the quarterback?
Yes.
Suddenly you might
got a couple of 10s.
You might be able to look like you can.
Okay.
Deron Bland might get you some pick 6s. That might be nice. Let me see here. Oregon safety at 20. Do you think he'll be there? Well, he's now getting mocked at 18 left and right. The Oregon safety, Thieneman, he's getting mocked at 18 for everyone now to Minnesota.
White Lightning ran a 4.3, baby. He got athleticism. He's not dropping.
No, he's a 5, though.
White Lightning is a 5?
You just said everyone in the draft is a 5. You said the whole bar is full of 5s. And every player in the NFL and free agency is a 10.
Did not say that. Never said every player in the NFL and free agency was a 10. Don't do that.
If Dallas sends 12 and 20 for Max, how do you think that impacts their approach and spending in free agency? They won't spend a dime. They won't spend a dime. You had another big money man? I would say they won't spend a dime if they get Maxx Crosby. Well, they'll bring in Reed Blankenship and Nakobe Dean, and then they'll add Maxx Crosby, and we'll go see what we could do.
We can't trade with Micah Fitzpatrick?
You can have Minka if you want Minka.
You like Minka?
I bet you Minka's fine. Minka's all right. Kind of washed.
Is he washed?
A little bit washed. Not Marshawn Lattimore washed, but kind of a little bit washed. Can't wait to hear all these fans who want to give up 2 firsts whine about why we won't pick until the 4th round. That's okay. I think it's hard for the Cowboys, and the reason that I do care about these draft picks is because when you go to win the Super Bowl, it's hard to do if you have a team with no depth and glaring holes. So, like, you got George Pickens, sweet, he's awesome. If you went and got Maxx Crosby, sweet, he's awesome. And maybe Christian Parker can take that and make all that work, and you'll have a decent or good defense, maybe. But when the only way you can find a good player is to give him all the money, you're struggling. All of these teams, the Patriots, the Seahawks, they just played in the Super Bowl. And they added players that helped them get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
The core of their team is they nailed the draft. They have a bunch of guys making $4 million that are really good.
And the core of this team is still a draft. I want to know how much nicotine would you need on draft day if the Cowboys traded one of their first-round picks and had no second and third-round picks?
I'd need a lot of nicotine. I don't know. I mean, I like the draft anyway. I could talk about the draft with the Cowboys not involved and be just fine.
Okay.
But I want them to be involved. I like to be cheering for players.
Right.
I like to be going into a round and I like to have my little board pulled up.
We're going to trade up. We're going to trade up. We're going to trade back into the second round. Trade back into the third round.
I traded for a guy for the Cowboys once. They traded for a player because I told them to.
Okay.
Not directly, but it happened. Okay. But the year that they got Cheeto and Jordan Lewis, the secondary coach at the time came in because I was doing the draft on Cowboys.com and The Fan, and I told him, I said, hey, congratulations on your new players, but y'all don't pick again for a while. I need you to trade back up and go get me the Louisiana Tech safety, Xavier Woods. And he was like, all right, I got you. And then Woods made it to the 5th round, and they picked him, and he poked his head back in the room and just shot me a thumbs up. So I drafted a player for him once, and he was a 4-year starter. So you're welcome.
But they didn't trade up for him.
No, they didn't. But he fell to
They
him.
let him fall.
Yeah, they let him fall. They did it right.
They did it right.
And it worked out. What about trading this year's 20 and next year's first for Crosby in the chat? You're actually only losing 1 first for him since the other first we lost was Green Bay's pick. You'd have no first next year at that point, and the other team would be agreeing to accepting the worse number 1 next year because you don't have the better one. And it's a reckless accusation, but did the Cowboys maybe get – no, they should be pretty good next year, and Green Bay should be pretty good next year. So their trade shouldn't be too bad, but I think they got their 2 1s in the wrong year. I think agreeing to the next year's one instead of this year's one and letting it be the better of the two I think they did that wrong.
Yes, because Jerry needed immediate relief. He needed immediate satisfaction. He needed to tell people.
He's saving face from Parsons.
Yes, we got rid of. We're gonna get immediate help. Okay.
Yeah.
We had to justify why we won the trade.
Yeah.
And how we're gonna have immediate results.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Smash the like button on your way out. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate all of you guys for being here. Coming up next will be our next show. So thanks for stopping by. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Everybody got a mama.
We all silly like the mayor.